Hello, hello. Бровари. Hello, hello. I'm very happy to see you all too. Kharkiv, hello. I'm very happy to see you all. I know that summer months are usually the ones that we want to just relax, chill out, not do much. But to be honest with you, when I plan my webinars for the summer, I always feel like it becomes trickier the closer it gets to the actual period of the webinar, because while yes, I planned the webinar to be around the primary school, yeah, surrounding the topic of primary school, I still feel like even though the primary school subject is very broad, so it's not always easy to choose a topic. Steve, hello. Лозова, Kyiv, hello. Миколаїв, Тернопіль, Викоти from Lviv region, hello. And to be honest with you, when I was crafting the topic of this webinar, this particular one, it was quite not hard, but quite interesting, I think, to find the middle ground. Kharkiv, Kyiv, Fastiv, hello, hello, Kyiv. Hello, everyone, hello. Yeah, we still have like 2 more minutes before we actually start the main part. Okay. Черкасы. Wow, Germany, Hanover. Dnipro, hello. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. Raining outside. Okay, I think I will be starting. Yeah, I will be translating my screen. Yeah, not translating, sharing my screen. Sorry. And we can start. Yeah. Okay, just to let me make sure that everything is working properly. That I have chosen. Асканія Нова. Вау! Дніпро, Тернопіль, Чернігів, Хмельницький, sorry, Дніпро. Hello, hello. Okay. Okay. Let me know, please, if you can see my screen right now. If you can see the presentation, the white and blue backdrop of the presentation. Hello, hello, yes, okay. So as usual, you know, we have some information about the Linguist company, and I will make sure that it is going quick and we are moving on to our main topic. Hello, hello everyone. So 17 years on the market for Linguist company, who is the official representative of the Cambridge University Press and Assessment, among publications, and of course, National Geographic Learning in Ukraine, and many, many more publishing houses. You can get more than 10,000 different types of study materials from us, ranging from dictionaries and up to international courses. And of course, you can become a part of our partnership program, with special terms and events for loyal educators and of course, institutions. Also, we are very proud to say that 1 million students, probably more than that, use our textbooks and workbooks, which were adapted to new standards by the Linguist Publishing House, and of course the formula, our in-house brand formula. We count the primary school and the secondary school, coming soon, very soon, the high school, you can get your own personal offers from our managers, with having your own assigned manager. Of course, tiered discounts, and quick delivery all around Ukraine. Poland, Kharkiv, okay, Myrhorod, lots of people. And of course, you know that we host more than 250 webinars per year. Including our all-Ukrainian conferences, such as Linguist United Conference Ukraine, and our back-to-school conferences, in spring and in summer, in autumn accordingly. And Linguist, it's not just English, it's also German, it's also French, Spanish, Italian, and Polish languages. And, sorry. And hello everyone in the comments. And from our in-house brand formula, we have textbooks and workbooks for NUSH classes for ICT, math, and science. But what we mainly gathered here today, to talk about is how can we go from classroom English to the real English and make it as simple as ABCs, that we teach to all of our students. Over the next hour that we have together, I will help you in exploring how one of our courses, the one that you probably saw on the poster for the webinar, Imagine for Ukraine, how it helps you do exactly that. Won't spend too much time talking about myself because, as I usually say, you know everything that there is to know about me, seeing as you attend our all-Ukrainian webinars, but more than 10 years of experience. I worked with NUSH in primary and in secondary school. Cross my fingers, we'll get to do that in high school. I still teach different age groups. I'm so sorry. Why do I say that I still teach different age groups? Because I still, more often than not, have a few of the students that I teach, help them prepare for exams. And I also work with the teachers. I share my knowledge with the teachers. I very much enjoy using digital resources and online activities in my practice with students. And in my humble opinion, I call myself an expert in creating the engaging materials for the students. And seeing as our usual days of meetups, of our all Ukrainian webinars, it was Tuesday, but now it's Wednesday. But we won't be changing the certificate sending time. So on June 12th, tomorrow, you will receive an email and it will go as usual. You need to fill out the form that you will get access to in the letter, when you fill out the form, at the end, you press the button which is called надіслати. Don't close the tab that you are on, because when you press надіслати, you will be moved to a new page that will say, thank you for filling out the form. The link to the folder with the certificates is below, yeah? And usually we give the name of the webinar and the date of the webinar, and right after that, we give the link to the folder. Please remember that your name and surname in the certificates will be shown, yeah, will be put in as you provided it from the registration on the Zoom platform, yeah? So if you used English, your name and surname, you put it in English during the registration, then on the certificate, it will be in English. If in Ukrainian, then on the certificate, you will find it in Ukrainian. I didn't know what's going on. I'm sorry. But if you have trouble finding the certificate just from scrolling down in the folder, you will also have one more folder which will be labeled для швидкого пошуку. And in that folder, you will have the Excel document which is titled перелік учасників. And in that document, you will have a list of all of the participants, which will be numbered, of course. And in the next column, so the first column will be the number, yeah. The second column will be the name and the surname. And the third column will be a link to the certificate, yeah. So right beside the name and the surname, you will be able to see the link to the certificate. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding the certificates? Just checking, yeah. So my biggest advice to those who are joining me and are using their colleagues' profiles, yeah. So the colleague shared the link to you, and you are using that link. Я перейду на українську в цьому моменті. Колеги, будь ласка, якщо ви дивитеся вебінар, наприклад, разом із своєю колегою чи своїм колегою, зайдіть хоча б на хвилинку, на 2, на 3 у свій профіль в Zoom під час вебінару, щоб Zoom міг вас впіймати як того, хто був під час заходу. Тому що ви можете скористатися лінком колеги, але коли ви заходите за цим лінком, показує не ваші дані, так, а показує дані вашої колеги. Тому ви не зможете отримати сертифікату, незважаючи на те, що ви реєструвалися, все, але оскільки Zoom не засік вас як того, хто реєструвався і був присутнім онлайн, так, відповідно, ми не можемо надати такій людині сертифікат, тому що я не можу перевіряти, сидіти чат, в переписці чату, так, чи була людина, наприклад, яка зареєструвалася, чи вона дивилася з чужого профілю, чи ще з чийогось. Тому, будь ласка, на майбутнє пам'ятайте таку річ. Зайдіть хоча б під час перегляду вебінару з свого профілю, буквально на хвилинку, на 2. І тоді можете вийти і продовжувати дивитися вебінар разом з вашим колегою на одному девайсі. Так? Щоб Zoom просто засік вас, як того, хто був присутній. І тоді жодної проблеми з отриманням сертифікату не буде. Окей. Окей. So, what is the agenda for today? Yeah? So, the agenda for today is like this. So, we have a challenge in front of us. Yeah? How can we go from classroom confidence to real life confidence, yeah, to real world confidence, when especially for our students, when they need to speak English in real life, yeah. Then we will see how we can solve that, yeah. What is our solution? It's the ABC approach, or as we expanded, yeah, always be curious approach. And of course, we will take a closer look at how our textbooks, which are called Imagine for Ukraine, can bring the authentic, bright, and connected things into action. You will see why I'm saying authentic, bright, and connected a little bit later on. And when we will reach the end of our journey today, I'm calling it a journey because with Imagine for Ukraine, it's exactly that. A big, bright, interesting journey into the world of English and not just English. And also I will share with you sort of a roadmap that you can follow, yeah, to get the most benefits for yourself and for your students when they are learning English language. And when we look back 2-3 years ago, the thought of the cooperation between Linguist Publishing House and National Geographic Learning of bringing a textbook into your usual classroom, yeah, was definitely a dream, was a thought. But that thought came to fruition thanks to our head editor, Diana Holovany, and of course our methodologists who tried to bring the best thing to Ukrainian schools. And of course, I'm very proud to say that this textbook, Imagine for Ukraine, is definitely developed by the best minds in the field, yeah? So it is created in partnership between ourselves, the Linguist Publishing House, and of course, National Geographic Learning, yeah? It corresponds to all of the new standards and to the model programs, yeah, that we have in our classrooms. Especially this student's book, this course corresponds to the model program, which whose author is Roman Shiyan. And of course, the most needed thing, yeah, is that these textbooks, all of the components of the course, they have the seal of approval from our Ministry of Education, and you can, without any problems, use this course in your classrooms. Yeah, you can even get the textbooks for free for your school if you vote for it. Yeah, so it's very, how do I say this? One of my colleagues in the company said that this course, the Imagine for Ukraine, it's like the golden middle. Yeah, and you will see why as we move on, because it's the most prolific statement about this textbook that I think somebody could say. But yeah, our main goal today is to basically see how Imagine for Ukraine helps to bridge that very often tricky gap between learning English in the classroom and then moving on to the real world and using it confidently, yeah? But we will learn how to do exactly that by our ABC approach, yeah? Always be curious. But let's start with the question that I have for everyone here. So, what are your biggest obstacles in getting students to communicate confidently? I'm not saying in the classroom, yeah? I'm saying just in general, yeah? So what are the biggest obstacles that prevent you and your students to communicate confidently, yeah? Because we all share one main goal, yeah? It's to get the learners, especially young learners, not just to know English, yeah, but also use it, because we know that knowing the rules, yeah, it's not the same as actually being able to use the rules. So please let me know in the chat box, yeah, what do you think are the biggest obstacles in getting students to communicate confidently? Lack of practice, okay. Lack of confidence, okay. Okay. Lack of vocabulary. Okay, but if we distance ourselves a little bit from the aspect of the textbook usage, yeah? So imagine yourselves back in the classroom, yeah? Pan Andrei says fear, yeah, that's definitely one of the obstacles. But so just think back to your usual lessons that you have in primary school, yeah? Fear of mistakes is also one of the important ones. So what limits you from getting to actually do something that you really want to from start to finish? Because let me tell you, for myself, it was often a limited time in class, because especially when we have a classroom that is not divided into two groups for the English lesson, yeah, the option of spending too much time disciplining kids, yeah, can take away those precious few minutes that you would use to practice English with them, yeah. Lack of motivation, okay. Okay. Do you think that the lack of exposure in English is a big problem here? Yeah, psychology of the students, yeah. So do you consider lack of exposure to English a big reason for students that prevents them from using English to communicate confidently? You can put yes, no, maybe in the chat box. Yes, okay, good. So a lot of you mentioned motivation, yeah? But also when we mention motivation, it's the lack of engagement, yeah? Students don't feel motivated, engaged into the process of learning, yeah, of doing something during the lesson, either because they don't find something interesting during the lesson, or they are distracted by other things, right? Yeah, a lot of you said lack of confidence, yeah, especially students, lack of confidence. And also a lot of you said their language level, yeah, so they are feeling insecure about what they know, and if that knowledge that they have, if it's enough, yeah, to provide the answer that the teacher is looking for, and what we generally need to do during the lesson, right? Of course, we know that there are different levels of ability among students, yeah, because it's not just the problem of a secondary school or high school, it's also a big problem of actually primary school, yeah, because lots of children these days, before they start school, they go to like different, so in Ukrainian we call it hurtki, yeah, or like preparation for school classes where they learn something, yeah, about English. They learn the numbers, they learn the colors, they learn different things, yeah, and when they come into the classroom and they open the textbook that they have in front of them, they already like, I know this, Yeah, I know how to say these words. I know what they mean. I won't learn anything interesting, yeah? And like, why am I here? Yeah? And also something that I mentioned at the beginning, yeah? That there are too many students in the class. So we know, I think you will agree with me in the chat box, that there are some regulations put in place about the situation of students in the classroom, yeah, being divided into two groups for English lessons and for Ukrainian language lessons, if I remember correctly, yeah? So for example, there needs to be like 28 to 30 students, so they could be divided into groups. Yeah, it's still like that. It hasn't changed from what I remember. Yeah, because I know for sure, because so 3 years ago, yeah, more like 4 at this point in time, I was working as an English teacher in primary school, 28 plus, and I had a classroom with 26 students, and they couldn't be divided, yeah, into two groups. And I won't say that it was very hard to deal with, but it definitely took away from the lesson. It took away time, it took away my composure, yeah, because I had to like discipline the kids. I needed to make sure that I'm in the right mindset to like properly pay attention to everybody, and so on and so on. And definitely, more often than not, yeah, the problem is not having the right materials, yeah, or having the materials which are not enough, yeah, to interest students, that look way too much like something that we used when we went to school, yeah, as teachers. And we know that the children now, they're very different from the children 5 years ago, and even more different from children 10 years ago, and so on and so on, right? And we need to keep all of that in mind to make sure that we keep those children hooked, yeah, interested in what we teach to them. And with our approach that we call always be curious, yeah, our ABCs, yeah, we definitely can do our best with it. Because when the children are curious, yeah, when they want to know something, when they ask a lot of questions, it definitely turns the learning process into a natural and joyous adventure, yeah. And today I will frame these principles, yeah, this methodology, the always be curious, into something different. I will show you how this ABC approach is integrated into the course. Yeah, how it helps us to actually make our children always be curious in the classroom, but curious with a purpose of learning something new. And when it comes to the letter A, yeah, we can say that A is also used for authentic, yeah, because when you open the Imagine for Ukraine, you will see that the language is presented in the real world, meaningful, and definitely culturally relevant contexts. For B, we can also use bright, yeah, because the textbook is very visually engaging. It's very clear in its approach to presenting the material. And of course, it gives a positive learning experience that keeps students motivated and inspired to always be curious. And for the letter C from our ABCs, we can also use connected, yeah, because we focus on linking different concepts, different skills, and the classroom learning directly to the students' lives and to the world, to the wide world that is around them. So now I offer you a ride into those ABCs, into those authentic, bright, and connected components. So A is for authentic, yeah, for bringing the real world into your classrooms. Because we know that if the subject is authentic, if the materials are authentic, it becomes a key to success in the classroom. And we can definitely see that through real life photography, yeah, through topics that definitely are interesting for everybody else, such as mealtime, yeah, that you can see here from the Imagine for Ukraine. It's one of the unit openers. So fun fact for the Imagine for Ukraine course, not a lot, all of the unit openers that you will see, so the pages that start each unit, they have the pictures of Ukrainian people, Ukrainian places, Ukrainian culture. Ukrainian people, so children, teenagers, older people, families, in different aspects of their day-to-day lives. Yeah, it helps to bring this situation, this unit, yeah, this page to life, because children instantly feel connected. They see something that they have seen in real life, or maybe they see it every day. Yeah. Also, definitely culture pages, yeah, that we have. I will talk about the culture pages in a few seconds, but also you can see that there are not just Ukrainian people, there are different people, different children from all over the world, and those children are engaged into different scenarios, but those different scenarios are also reflected to Ukrainian children. Because, for example, we have the children eating lunch at school. Our Ukrainian children do it also. Yeah, they also spend time with their family, yeah, having fun outside in winter, yeah. So it's very close to home. And when we talk about the cultural relevance, yeah, the cultural component that brings to life a lot of the pictures that are shown in the Imagine, we use the concept that was presented by National Geographic Learning, and I very much like this concept, which is called windows, mirrors, and doors. Yeah, why? Windows, mirrors, and doors. So when we have our windows, yeah, so basically we open the windows to other cultures that students see, yeah, in our textbook, like students from, I don't know, Brazil, Japan, and many other countries, yeah. We use mirrors, yeah, so students see their own lives and their own culture being reflected on the pages. Like one that we have seen, on the previous slide, the culture page. Yeah, I am Ukrainian, and there were students in Vyshivankas, but there also was a project task to create a Ukrainian flag. Yeah, with different, with colored paper, with a stick, with a glue, and it was again a way to reflect on your own culture. Yeah, but also remember that each unit has pictures of Ukrainian dishes, places, people, and so on and so on. And definitely last but not least, it's doors. Yeah, so the door is a metaphor to the opportunity. Yeah, so the opportunity for students to use English to interact with others, to use English when they are explaining the process of making a flag from the project section of the culture page, of them talking about their classroom, what they have in the classroom by using the language, yeah, by using the grammar structures from the book, and so on and so on. And when we move on from the cultural part, the cultural relevance, we can definitely see that when students see the page from the textbook, we definitely, from our standpoint as teachers, see that vocabulary and grammar, they are always presented in a context. So for example, here we have a page from the Imagine for Ukraine 1. It's a page from Unit 2, and it's lesson 1 that is revolving around vocabulary. So we can see that the new vocabulary is taught explicitly, so presented with the pictures, with the words, to lay foundation for the rest of the unit, because this vocabulary that was presented here will be used throughout the unit. Lexical sets are interesting, they are relatable, because it's something that students see in their own classrooms, in their own homes, with their friends. They are, of course, relatable, and they are benchmarked against international exams. Also, the NUSH program, what's the most important, and of course, the SAFR levels. New vocabulary is supported by helpful visuals. So it's a very high impact photo for real world context. So for example, here we have students learning at school in India, and we have every single vocabulary every single example of vocabulary that was presented at the beginning of the lesson, shown on the page here, on the photo. And so we have the teacher, we have the pencils that students are holding in their hands. We see the desks that they are using, the crayons, the chairs, and the books. And of course, there are clear images for the students, that present each lexical item. Students definitely have the opportunity to interact with vocabulary through authentic listening prompts. And different communicative activities, such as the one here, listen and point, definitely gives students the opportunity to start using the language straight away without any disruptions. Also, we have different stories that teach values to our students. So for example, here we have a story called What's Your Name? And the value is be friendly, because here the children are meeting in front of the school, and they are going to school, and they practice the vocabulary. So the greetings, the introductions, and so it teaches students to be friendly to one another, but also it has the tasks that help students reflect on the story. So what emotions do you feel after reading the story, why, and so on and so on. And also here we have songs, so the song page that is in Imagine for Ukraine grade 2. And the song also teaches the value to the students. So here the unit that was before this page was about toys. So the song that we have seen here, so it teaches the students the value of sharing your toys. So it seems very insignificant in some cases, but situations like these, pages like these with the values on them, they help to develop very well-rounded individuals, because when we show students just how good of a result you can get from being friendly, from sharing your toys, from communicating with others, it definitely teaches students to do exactly that and understand it on a deeper level. Remember, we saw B represented as bright. A bright learning experience is very central to Imagine for Ukraine. So this means that the materials that students see in the textbooks, they are not only visually engaging, so they attract the student's eye, but they also foster a positive classroom atmosphere. Yeah, so you can definitely see that there are some high impact photography, yeah, which is the trademark for National Geographic, and they definitely landed a hand in this by providing such nice pictures. And but the pictures, remember that, and look, yeah, you can see it, the proof is right here, that the pictures are very child friendly. Yeah, they fill the page, they don't seem like forced into the page, and it definitely helps students to be more engaged and to dive deeper into the language, yeah, to be more immersed into it. So, for example, why do we say that it provides clear, explicit instructions and a logical progression? So let's see the 2 pages, yeah, 2 lessons from the Imagine for Ukraine grade 2. So we start with the vocabulary, yeah? So we learn the vocabulary, we practice it, we try it on ourselves, yeah? So we go back and we think, oh, I have a grandpa, I have a grandma, I have all of these people in my life, so relatable, yeah? Then we repeat, we practice the vocabulary, but also, yeah, we do it in a very fun and engaging way by playing a game, yeah? So we can use the flashcards, which are also a part of the course for Imagine for Ukraine, and use those flashcards to our advantage, yeah? And right after the vocabulary, yeah, we have a grammar lesson that uses the vocabulary from the previous lesson, but it also corresponds to the grammar structures that students will be learning in this lesson, yeah? So for example, here they are talking about, I've got a grandma or grandpa, sorry, I haven't got a sister, yeah? So they learn how to say if they have a particular sibling or member of the family, or if they don't have him or her. But also next we have a chant, yeah, that allows students to practice their pronunciation, but also practice the usage of the grammar. And last but definitely not least, we have a speaking task, yeah, that again allows students to use the language that they have learned, the grammar that they have learned right away, without any problems, without any interruptions in the process. Yeah, so the vocabulary and the grammar, they are always given very systematically, yeah, from easy to hard, and they are always synchronized together. So one can't go without the other, yeah, they are always together, they are cooperating. Also, you can see that when we talk about the phonics, yeah, something that is very, very important, we can see the progression in the pages. So we have a page from the Imagine for Ukraine grade 1. So it's the first phonics page, which is a part of a unit. So each unit has its own phonics page and allows students to learn and practice the phonics without any problems. And also, please remember that the phonics pages, they use high frequency words. So the words that are most frequently used in English speaking practice. And it helps students to relate to that vocabulary, to those words, and remember the phonics is better and easier, of course. And for example, here is the phonics page from grade 1, but here is the phonics page from grade 3. Yeah, so we can definitely see the progression here. And we can see that the phonics are given not all at once, yeah, but very measured, but very decisive. And it allows students to move smoothly from easy to hard, yeah. Also, yeah, you can definitely see that there are lots of songs, chants, and games on the Imagine for Ukraine. You know that the main activity that students do, that they learn from in primary school, it's of course games, yeah? But songs and chants are not too far behind, and it definitely becomes the second nature of the usage of it, yeah? And every unit is jam-packed of the chants, of the songs, and of course of the games. And it in turn helps to promote a positive learning environment in our students, yeah? When they feel encouraged, when they feel like they understand that making mistakes, it's a very natural process of learning something, and it's not something that you should be ashamed about, because again, everybody makes mistakes. The main thing is that we learn from those mistakes, yeah, and we use it to our advantage. We gain new knowledge, we gain new experience, and we use it as another stepping stone to becoming better. And now we are moving on to the C, yeah, from our ABC. So C is for connected, yeah? Why? Because we help to build skills and confidence in our students, yeah? So we help students to link the new language that they have learned to their lives, yeah? To see the relevance of that language, and of course build the confidence to use it actively. So we focus with Imagine for Ukraine, yeah, we focus on integrated skills development. So again, we start with the vocabulary, we practice it, we use it in the situation, yeah, the situational awareness, and we definitely move from vocabulary to grammar. Then that grammar is supported by another vocabulary section, by the reading section next, by the reading lesson, and so on and so on. And we definitely help to provide scaffolding to confident communication, yeah, through clear conversation models that are presented on each page that we have. And of course, yeah, we give numerous opportunities for personalization when we use the tasks such as the projects, yeah? So when students need to create something new, yeah? And again, it's not just the personalization, it's also collaboration, because sometimes we divide students into groups to work on a project. It's not just one singular work. And for example, here students need to design a robot, yeah, because they have watched the video at the end of the second unit, and they have learned about different robots, yeah, that exist in the world. They learned what they can do, and now they have the opportunity to create one for themselves, yeah. They need to write what this robot can do, yeah, what it can't do. They need to share it with a class. So again, it's something that sparks creativity in students, yeah, that makes students wonder what they can do and what they should do even sometimes. Also, yeah, we provide contextualized reading, because it's one of the major cornerstones of the learning process, yeah? Because students encounter carefully labeled text that correspond to the level of the students, yeah? But also that text has a very interesting story behind it, and also it has the grammar, the vocabulary that they learned previously, yeah? And for example, here students will be reading about a boat school in Bangladesh, yeah, and they have the vocabulary, yeah, that was presented to them for from the previous pages, yeah, and the grammar, but also they have the vocabulary that they are not familiar with yet, presented to them before the story, yeah. They read the story, they see how that vocabulary is used in a context, and then they have an additional task that helps students to check their understanding, yeah. But again, it's keeping the connection to students' interests, yeah? So it's using some of the engaging themes like animals, like toys, like maybe family adventures, like their, the children of the same age as them, and what do they do? Yeah, do they go to school? If they do, what does that school look like? What do they do here? Do they learn the same things as we do? Or maybe they learn something different, yeah? And so on and so on. And of course, let's not forget about the self-assessment part of the methodology from the Imagine for Ukraine. Why do I say methodology? Yeah, because this system is built from the first grade. So we have this section in the student's book in the first grade, which is called self-assessment. And it allows students, yeah, to like tell the teacher if they feel comfortable, if they have some problems, and so on and so on, yeah? So we are using gestures to do that, yeah? So if the student, when you ask, do you get it? Do you understand, yeah? And students can show you their hands, and it would mean, yeah, I'm fine, I understand. If students have some problems comprehending something, or they can't understand fully what the task is asking them to do, they show two fingers, yeah, and it's like, I've got questions, I need some help here, yeah. And if the student doesn't understand at all, he needs you to repeat it one more time, yeah, to explain everything. It's like, he's like this, and I don't understand, help me, yeah? And I know for sure that some colleagues use Lego bricks to do exactly that, yeah? So it can be like even a traffic lights system with the Legos. So the green brick, the yellow brick, and the red brick, yeah? And they lift the green brick to say, I understand, yellow, I've got questions, and the red one, I don't understand. So again, the self-assessment tasks are here, yeah, as an additional form of like checking your students' understanding, but more so it's a tool to empower students to reflect on their journey so far and to take ownership of that learning journey by themselves, yeah? So they can see like very easily, yeah, if they know what they need to use to complete the task, or if they don't, if they need help, yeah, if they need to ask the teacher to help them understand everything. And remember, at the beginning, I promised you that I would show you the roadmap, yeah, to confident communication that can lead our students to our goal, yeah, that we are working towards. So remember that all of these elements that I told you about, the authentic, the bright, the connected, they come together in the Imagine for Ukraine and in this map for confident communication, yeah? So it definitely starts with a foundational language, yeah? So the essential vocabulary and the grammar that our students need to have to be able to communicate freely without any problems. Then it helps us build the communication skills, yeah, by using different practice tasks that are used in the textbook, yeah? And all of that is done by immersing our students into the real world, yeah? The fascinating real world that is full of different things, of different people, of different situations, that definitely is sometimes unpredictable, yeah? and it is supported by contextualized reading and writing. And the final destination is getting to meet that confident young learner who is ready to express themselves in English. Yeah, use the English language to proudly showcase their skills and show that it's not just reading that they know, it's not just vocabulary that they know. They can read, they can speak, they can talk, yeah, discuss things. They can listen to English and understand what is told to them. And they also can write, yeah, because we need to support writing skills as well. But what do we get in the end? Yeah, how can we make sure that after even everything that we have seen from Imagine for Ukraine, how actually practical is it in real life? Well, let me show you. Yeah, so Imagine for Ukraine is my favorite textbook. I won't hide that. You definitely can see from my approach to explaining things about it, to my presentation of it. Yeah, and it's very I wish I could had a textbook like that when I was learning English in primary school, because it definitely helps students see themselves in different scenarios and not just imagine it. Yeah, even though the book is titled Imagine. But for the teachers, yeah, what are the benefits? So you have seen that Imagine has a very clear structure, yeah, and it's very logical. It goes from easy to hard, and it definitely builds on the previous knowledge of our students. Yeah, it is niche aligned, yeah, so it corresponds to all of the requirements that we have from our programs. Of course, it's the engaging content and ready-to-use content that saves valuable preparation time for teachers, because we don't have much of it and we always need to use it wisely, yeah? And most importantly, you have full support for the teacher. So all of the audio, video resources, all of the materials that can come in handy from our internet support, such as vocabulary cards from Quizlet, interactive games from WordWall, letters of support for parents, even the additional worksheets from the self-assessment section, all of it. And of course, the teacher's book, the workbook, and other components, they are always there for you to use. When it comes to the students, yeah, it's the ability to have fun lessons and in turn, build your own confidence, yeah, create real world connections and build future skills that become your basis for a happy future. And I always liked this expression, yeah, so always be curious, and it's easy as ABC, yeah, because these three letters, so everyone knows that ABC is the first three letters of the English alphabet, yeah, and I advise you to always be curious with your students in the classroom, because it's definitely easy when you have the right materials, when you have the right mindset, when you have the right motivation. And I just wanted to share with you where you can find everything that you need, yeah, for Imagine for Ukraine. So let me know in the chat box, pluses, minuses, if you can see the Linguist Publishing website. So I'm just checking, so, okay, pluses, okay, good. So on the Linguist Publishing website, yeah, so publishing.linguist.ua, you can see on the left-hand side, for me, the англійська мова section, yeah, and, for example, let me do it like this, yeah, so you see that English language, and we have primary school. And Imagine for Ukraine is the first grade that greets you. yeah, the first textbook course that greets you. And we have all of the descriptions here, yeah, for the textbook. You can even have the button, yeah, for ordering something. But the main thing that is interesting for everybody, what is in the course, yeah? So we can see that the components for the course are as follows. So the first grade, we have the student's book, we have the workbook, the teacher's book, which will be very soon available in the printed form, but it exists on the website in the ebook form, but it is in the process of printing. So if needed, you can have it ordered in the printed form. The writing practice textbook, and also the flashcards. And when you scroll down here, you can see that in this section, додаткові матеріали, you have lots of interesting options. So we have the textbook here, yeah, so the electronic version, the e-version of the textbook that is used here. Also, so the samples for the workbook, the audio files for the student's book, for the workbook, the teacher's book. The teacher's book and the videos, they are hiding under the protection of the parole, yeah? But the key to this lock can be found on the last page, on the last cover page of the student's book. Just a second. Let me find my Imagine. Sorry, I can't find my Imagine textbook right now, but I will show you on my tablet here. So on the back side of the Imagine textbook, there would be information about the parole that you need to type in here to access the teacher's book and the video resources. It's a requirement from National Geographic Learning to protect the information. So know about this, remember about this. And also we have this section that is called методична підтримка вчителя. Here you can have your hands full with many different things. So the materials, yeah, so yeah, we are taking it. And hopefully I remember the, I need to check the language here. Okay, so just check. Oh no, the Imagine. Okay, I forgot the password. I'm sorry, I forgot the password. But all the materials are available for download that you can use freely without any problems. Also, we have the writing practice textbook, yeah, that you can see here. It supports the textbook and the workbook with some additional tasks that correspond to all of the pages, yeah, all of the units. And they have different types of tasks that provide students with practice for what they need to remember, yeah, from what they have learned. Also additional phonics practice and of course the writing, yeah. And it is for the first and the second grade. Very soon, the third grade will be also up here. Reading anthology. So the first grade has the reading anthology part in the actual textbook. It's a part of the textbook. but from the second grade, starting from the second grade, it's become its own book, yeah? And it has the pre-reading tasks, yeah? It has the story. So just an example here, yeah? So the pre-reading tasks with the phonics, with the matching tasks, yeah? This story that is very child-friendly, very interesting, but also the post-reading tasks that help your students to check their understanding and to basically make sure that everything that they have learned stays inside their head, yeah? And the internet support. So here at my left-hand side, you see this section that is called «Для учнів та учениць», and you click on «Оберіть свій підручник». And you can see that we have different grades here, yeah? And for the first grade, students just choose Imagine, and they have all of these resources here. For example, resources and fun, I like food, yeah? And they have games. So 2 of these 3 games from Word Wall, they are vocabulary and grammar oriented. The third one is about the phonics, yeah? And here my words, it's Quizlet cards with the vocabulary from the unit. And my audio is the audio files, are the audio files that your students will need while they're working with the unit. But also the first grade and the second grade materials, they live here on the website. The third grade lives on the Vashoa platform. And let me show you, just so you can see the full extent of it, yeah, in practice, more or less. So here, for example, we have the greeting page, sort of. So it provides our students with the goals that they will be working towards when they start working with the unit, yeah? Then we have the audio files that will be used by students in this unit. Then we have a set of Quizlet cards, yeah? So it's with translation, with the pictures that help students retain the vocabulary better. Also, Wordwall games. So for example, here the task is to drag the words, yeah, to put the correct order. Yeah, so this is, no, our dining room. Yeah, we've got a table. Next, we have a second game. Yeah, so again, making correct sentences. The third one, it's about the phonics. Yeah, so students need to put the letters into correct order to make the word. And here we have the self-assessment tasks. Yeah, so you can download them if needed, and all the additional audio is on the Linguist Publishing website that can be used for these tasks. And letters for support for the parents that you can download and send to the parents to show them what exactly you have been working with during the unit, what students have achieved, what they can do, yeah, the level of their achievements, and so on and so on. And also there are some additional activities that parents can easily use at home to have a more controlled practice situation for the English practice at home. Okay. So if you need to contact me, you know where to find me, yeah? So you can use my email address to write me a letter, or you can call me by using this phone number, or you can write me a message in Viber or in Telegram, or even using WhatsApp, because I have my profiles on all of these messengers. And if you are interested, get your hands on the Imagine for Ukraine and its components. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. Hopefully, something that I shared with you today was useful. You have found it interesting. And if you need any help, thank you so much for the compliments. Thank you so much. And, you know, if you need any help from me, advice, professional, personal, you can contact me, and I'm always happy to help you. Thank you so much one more time for joining me here today. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, of your families. I want to say get inspired for the new school year, yeah? Get that inspiration from things you'll learn along the way, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon during our next All Ukrainian webinar. Thank you so much. You too, everybody. You too have a nice day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, so much. Okay. Goodbye.